All right, guys. So now that we've gridded out your paper or your picture, and we figured out where all of our squares are gonna go, we're going to grid out our project. Now, one thing you guys wanna think about is you don't want your grid to show through your face. The object is that it's a guide, but we don't want your lines to be heavy or strong. We want them to be very light. So the other thing you want to think about is where your border is. So in your picture, you have a 1/2 inch border on the side and at the top and at the bottom. So we want to take that into account when we're measuring out our picture. So if I'm doing that, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to take my first line like we did in the other video, and I'm going to measure out 1/2 inch, which is right here. And then I'm gonna go from that spot, take my line, and I am gonna measure 1/2 inch, okay? And what that tells me is that is where I am gonna start measuring the top of my picture. So I'm going to bring my ruler and I am going to mark it here. And I know that from my picture, I have 6 inches. So I'm going to measure out 6 inches. Okay? And then I'm going to draw a line from there to there, just lightly, remember? And the further back you hold your pencil, the lighter your lines are gonna be. So, now that I've got that, I'm just going to quickly mark my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna lightly write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to match my grid on my picture. Then I'm gonna come over here, try to make sure that my line is as straight as possible, and I'm going to measure out 10 inches because that is where is it 10 inches? I believe it's a 6 by 10, I'm pretty sure. So let's see, just to make sure. It's from here to here. So yes, 10 inches. So I'm gonna come here, line this up, okay? And I am going to measure to the 10-inch mark, which is right here. I'm gonna draw a very light line from this point to the 10-inch point. Then while I'm here, I'm just gonna mark my 1 inch, 2 inch, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that's gonna tell me this is where my parallel lines are and this is where my vertical lines are. It's easiest if you do the bottom and the side as well. So I'm just gonna quickly do this so that when I line up my lines, they're all straight. And then I come here, I do the same thing. Again, just like you see, I'm always lining it right here, okay? And we're working with 1 inch spots. Now, if you have any extra on your picture, you're not drawing that, feel free to cut that part off if it confuses you. And then I'm just going to quickly start drawing my vertical lines. And then my horizontal lines. So I guess the question is, you're probably wondering, how does this grid work? So let me show you. If I were to take, actually I'll draw one more so this makes a little bit more sense because my facial features are here. Might as well do this. I'll just grid out the entire thing. Maybe I should quickly show you, once I have it gridded out, what you will be doing. That ruler moved a little bit, so it's a little crooked. But if your lines are a little off, it's not gonna be a big deal. You just don't want them to be really far off. And remember, the purpose of this is matching up the facial and all of that sort of stuff with the block, okay? That's why we have the numbers on the top and the letters on the bottom. Okay, and then we're gonna label this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. And remember, you guys, your faces are gonna be different than mine. Not all of you are gonna have the same facial features, or your picture won't be as big. So you're measuring to your picture, not mine. So now that I have my face, what I can do is I can line my grid up, okay, with where my picture is. And what I can see is my face right here and my hair connect at A5. So I'm gonna come up here and I am going to try my best to follow along, okay? So now I know that my face continues on into B5, okay? But it curves a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of curve here. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna show you about the eyebrow. So if I come here, this tells me that my eyebrow is in A4. So A4, right here at the bottom, I'm just going to draw a line, okay? Gonna come into 5, and then what I notice is the end of my eyebrow actually curves into B5. So I'm just gonna draw a little bit here. I'm just gonna do my outline. Remember, we're working from the top down, okay? So I've just got my outline here for where my eyebrows are gonna go. And then I'm gonna work down here. And now it tells me that this is B4. So I'm gonna come to B4, right around here. I'm gonna move my eye into B5. All right. And I'm going to just do my outline here. Okay. Now look at where does my eyeball? It goes right here. Okay. And then I can see that it's right here. And then my pupil goes right here. So now I've got my outline. So I know that that's where that is, okay? And now I want to work down. And I see that the bottom of my nose, I'm gonna work on one side of my face because it seems to be easier. I'm gonna come over here to C4. So C4. And I am going to draw just where my nose is, just right here, okay? I'm gonna draw this little spot, and then I'm going to work over here, and I'm going to draw where my nose is here, okay? So that's just a quick outline. Now, obviously, we're gonna do a lot more with that, but this tells you how to grid out your face. I hope that this helps a little bit in understanding a little bit more. And then once you have everything gridded out, you can come back and you can say, okay, now I'm going to figure this out. Now my eyebrows are here. I'm going to add detail to them. Okay, they're thicker here, and then they get thinner. And then I'm gonna draw my eyes. I've got my dark eyelashes. Okay. Don't forget you've got your eyelid, and you want to use your finger to smudge and add that shading, just like your picture has it. And this has more shading over here, so I'm gonna add more shading around where my picture has more shading. And then I'm gonna smudge it, okay? And this is what's fun about using charcoal and graphite pencils, is they are easier to smudge than what I'm using right now. And then you want to try as best you can to replicate your eyelashes in what direction they're going. Okay. And your face will start to take form as you continue to work towards that detail. Okay, I could continue on and on with this, but I think you guys probably are starting to get the picture of how your face is going to come about. Okay, so keep doing that, and it'll be fun to see how your faces turn out.